Hello and welcome back to those who have been watching my channel. And for a really long time, I'm back with F1 2020. I'm going to do season 3 round 6 coverage now. And it's been a while since I've driven anything. So I'm going to start off this video with regular development stuff. If you can see, we have some points, so I'm going to improve our chassis. We have something here, and maybe we can. No, we can't. I don't see anything else what we can actually do. So we're going to just move on from here and to activities. 2 days weight training, of course. We're gonna improve our second driver, who is Mick Schumacher. So we have plenty of days left to create a new contract. We see the customization flags up. So we have probably some new liveries. Doesn't matter right now to us because we already have a livery, like you can see. And maybe we can actually invest into fabrication, like why not? And yes, I think we're done. So we're going to advance and let's see how this time around the Spanish GP is going to come out. Last season I was P16, and yeah, let's see. Hopefully I can do better. So with the qualification, I'm going to show you just the results. I didn't make it to Q3, but luckily Mick did. So I ended up with 12th position. It's not that bad considering I have a basically 2-week gap actually from driving anything. And just, it's good to drive again. But let's see how the race pans out.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. It's a sellout crowd of 140,000 here today as we await lights out for the 730-metre sprint down to turn 1 of this 2.9-mile racetrack. Overtaking is challenging through these 16 corners, but there's still a lot of high-speed excitement to be found, including the flat-out turn 3 and the terrifying blind right of turn 9. Joining me for the Grand Prix once again is Anthony Davidson. Why don't we discuss McLaren? We have a number of changes to the aerodynamic regulations this year, and the signs haven't looked good for them so far in terms of getting to grips with those changes.
It doesn't look promising for them so far. And if the new regs have hit them as hard as we think, well, I suspect they may need a few late nights at the factory to get back on track.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position.
Wow, look at the gap between the first and second. Wow, Mick finished third. That's really nice, meaning we're actually ahead of Ferrari, performance-wise. This is really nice to know, especially since that finished 12th.
Lando Norris and Stroll, Magnussen, Gasly, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi, De Vries, Boccolacci, Calderon and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Yep, that's the idea. Okay, from this strategy view we already can see that probably and most likely actually not making to P10 or Q3, whichever you want to say, actually was beneficial. So we're going to keep the current strategy and we just have to hope for the best. And let's start going. So the lights are turning on, rich mixture, turn on the overtake, and let's go. And I have Jet on the left, and I'm just keeping up with the option tire guys, because we can see everybody in front that have option tires going to the inside, hoping to get something, but I don't get anything, so Ocon is really a little bit blocking me here. So I was blocking Norris behind me, and just I just need to stay on the road. There's nothing I can do from this angle.
Let's focus now for the rest of the race.
Yep, that's the idea, Jeff. So we're still P12, and we're actually the first guy with medium tires, kind of close with Ocon there. Still need to keep close. We don't want to give away too much. A little dive. Can we make it against Ocon? Yes, we did. Ooh, we almost lost it there. And just a few turns to go. This is the hardest part for me on this track. I just don't I keep on hitting too early in the inside of the corners, miscalculate the speed, but instead of this right now, let's see how is Mick doing. Mick is still there. This is really nice, and we see Lewis Hamilton taking the lead from Valtteri Bottas, so hopefully he will stay there. And let's check out how Mick did in the first corners. Was there any danger of losing the position or any hope to gain a position? And here we can actually see how Hamilton made an extremely good start to the race. And we can see from the mirrors for Mick's car, we can see only red. One on the left, one on the right. But it seems like it's the same car though. Anyway, it went nice. You can see Hamilton in the first position. It was a really nice fight from them. I'm going to move on to lap 5 of Mick driving, and you can see nothing has changed. And you see something from the mirrors. And we see maybe a little bit red there. Actually, Leclerc is staying close with the DRS opened. I think Mick is really fighting for his position right now. But seems like he is holding on for now. So we're going to move on to lap 6, and this is me, and I'm going for it, and just dive bomb and then try to block the road, and I succeeded perfectly.
You made it look easy.
It wasn't easy, believe me. So from here, actually, if I remember correctly, Perez is going to go to the pits. Yes, he is. So from here out, the option tire guys, they were losing speed actually, and they started pitting everybody one by one. So we're going to move on to lap 7, and we can see teammate in the pits.
Mick is in the pits.
Basically everybody else except Bottas, and we can see cars going to the pits from the behind mirror. And let's see how Mick did. So here's Mick coming, and with Leclerc behind him, and they both are coming to the pits. And let's see how our crew worked out. It looks fair enough. And in front of the Ferrari, so it's good enough, and just behind Hamilton. So we move on to lap 8, the very next lap, where Bottas is pitting, and at the same time we see the news that Charles Leclerc
Battery
has
charge is high.
retired.
Let's use that overtake button more.
Thank you, Jeff. Like, I don't know. And here we go. And we have P1. So the race is looking really good at this point. We have Norris, Magnussen, and Stroll and Gasly just behind us, so hoping to make some gap. So on lap 15 we see Mick fighting for his position with one of the Alfa Romeos. I think it's Latifi. And staying on the outside, not time bombing like I do, so, and he makes it stick, I believe. You should see an outside look. Let's see how it is. Very nice move from Mick. So lap 16, so it's my pit stop time, even though we can see only green. So I decided to go for fresher tires because it actually makes sense. Maybe I could run 1 or 2 extra laps, but I don't think in the long run it would I have lost a little bit. Meanwhile, Bottas making the best lap time.
Exit
Wow, 1.9. That's actually really nice.
Last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
Ah, that's nice. So we are doing Max Verstappen coming in hot, and we're checking to make sure that the next tires is going to be red. And it's the lap 20 we see Mick pitting. So we're going to have this cockpit view for this time around. Let's see how the guys are doing. They're doing actually fine again. And again, just behind Hamilton. So we will move on a couple of laps to lap 22. And this is where I gained back my lead. And 11 laps to go, so kind of hopeful. And now it's important that Bottas falls behind Norris, but he does not. I don't think so. Yes, that's true. So 1.5 seconds. So Norris should have driven 1.5 seconds faster, so my life would have been so much easier. But what can you do?
Car behind has boxed for the mediums. Car behind on the medium tire.
So I have to survive now. So on lap 30, we can see that Bottas has caught up with me. He's on DRS range, but he's not going to do anything before the...
Okay, we're reaching a danger point with the wear on the MGU-H. Overheating the engine will exacerbate the issue, so keep the temps under control.
So this is not something what you want to hear when you're driving for the lead, for the race win. This is not what you want to hear. So we're going to move to lap 32, where actually things are going to happen. First we're going to watch how Bottas is going to give his utmost to overtake me, and I'm going to give my utmost to stop him. Let's see who wins. So I already go for the
This is your
defensive,
final lap of the race.
and we can see Bottas coming in hot. Actually I should have not done that move.
You're losing a
Leaving
small
the
amount of
inside,
time to the car
but
behind. Keep pushing.
braking late enough so that Bottas didn't have any chance, and we didn't collide, so that fight is done. We won't get any chance anymore. But in the same time, Mick is coming for his last lap of the race, and Hamilton, they're going crashing on Norris and making the move done. So Hamilton is P3, sad for Norris. Now I hope that Mick is going to make the move done as well. Let's see what happens. Going from the outside, this is not ideal, but with superior grip and car, it should, and it's done. That's nice. P4 for Mick. This is really nice thing to see. I'm really happy about this. So we're going to move on to the last corners of the race, and done. Really happy about
Nice
this.
work. That's P1. Race win. Well done.
Here we are then, a real team effort to overcome their rivals for a memorable win here today. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I think the key here was just the quality of the racecraft, you know? I mean,
No,
how many
it was the
overtakes did they make
strategy.
overall? I'm sure we have a stat person keeping score somewhere, and it was fantastic to watch, wasn't it? This is a strategic sport at the end of the day, but it's always really gratifying to see close-fought battles on track. It's what all the fans are after.
Here comes your top three making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One. Let's see how the driver standings have changed. That lead at the top of the table has shrunk somewhat today. Some amazing talent out on the track today. But Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to the Rainmaster. They fought so hard and had incredible pace at times, so I don't think anyone else did a better job today.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
So amazing result for the team. I just have to be happy. There's no other way to say it. And Daniel Ricciardo taking the fastest lap actually in the very fast lap. So kudos to him. Mick finishing 4th, and what the surprise we have on P6. We have Kevin Magnussen with Haas. And I've been thinking about this a lot. Kevin Magnussen is a dark horse, and I think he deserves more credit than actually he's getting. And like we can see, from 15th position he started probably the same strategy as I and Lando, same with Pierre Gasly. So here we can see the fast forward of the interview. I don't think there wasn't anything new here. You just have to choose the answers you need to get more morale to the team. Of course, everybody underestimate me all the time. Yeah. So we're going to move on to the rival breakdown. I didn't gain much on Albon, so I have lost this rivalry. Yippee! So what can you do? So I'm gaining some acclaim. I'm still really close to the level 15, which will give me more perks. So yes, a little bit of money to the team. And at the end of the day, I'm still happy with this outcome of the race. Like I said earlier, it's been 2 weeks since I did any race. Even though the videos have been uploading, they were on schedule. I've just been so busy doing other stuff. And yeah, that was it. Hope to see you again on the next video. Don't forget to subscribe if you liked it. Leave a comment if you want to change something, and enjoy the race highlights.